Regular meeting number 37 will come to order. Would you please stand for the playing of the national anthem? Councilman Remy, would you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This evening we have Pastor Roscoe Roby here to lead us in prayer. Pastor Roby is the senior pastor of 7th Avenue Community Baptist Church. Welcome and thank you for leading us this evening.
Let us bow. Tonight as we come tonight asking for wisdom, guidance, and direction for our city council and their staff. We pray that tonight that they are under a divine covering, that every decision that they make, Father, is thought well through. We pray tonight that you give them covering, Father, as they go forth and do what needs to be done for the betterment of our city. We pray that you give them a heart and a mind to think things through. We pray, Father, that you bless the leader of this council and bless their staffs. And we pray that everyone that's here tonight, Father, would be on one accord. So we thank you and we give you all honor, glory, and praise. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Roby. Clerk, please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden. Any person who takes any actions to obstruct or interfere with the conduct of tonight's meeting may be charged with disturbing a lawful meeting pursuant to Columbus City Code 2317.12. Any person who enters those areas of city council chambers reserved for city officials or invited guests may be charged with criminal trespass pursuant to Columbus City Code 2311.21.
Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal? Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
This week's communications received by the City Clerk's office are listed on the agenda and will be published in the City Bulletin. Are there any other communications to be read in the record?
Yes, President Harden, members of council, we have a letter addressed to the city clerk from the Board of Elections dated July 7th, 2018, stating the following: on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Elections, I hereby certify that the board has examined the part petitions for initiated ordinance Bill of Rights received by our office from you on June 29th, 2018. The number of valid and invalid signatures on the part petitions for the prospective initiative are as follows: total signatures 18,404, valid signatures 12,134. Percentage of valid signatures submitted relative to the number of total raw signatures, 65.9%. The total number of voters, electors that participated in the 2015 mayoral election was 177,793. The number of electors who represent 5% of the total electors is 8,890. Please let us know if we may be of further assistance. Sincerely, Jeff Mackey, Manager, Petitions and Campaign Finance, Franklin County Board of Elections. In addition to the communication from the Board of Elections, the City Clerk has forwarded to the City Council the City Attorney's Memorandum dated July 9th, 2018, regarding legal sufficiency as required by Section 42-9 of the City Charter, which states the City Clerk shall, upon receipt, forthwith forward to the Council the Elections Authority's report regarding signature validation and the City Attorney's findings regarding legal sufficiency.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any resolutions by members of council this evening? Councilmember Elizabeth Brown. Thank you. Councilmember Mitch Brown. Councilmember Remy.
I just wanted to let everybody know that my office will be holding community hours at the Linden branch at 2223 Cleveland Avenue this Wednesday, July 11th from 3:30 to 5. Everyone that has any concerns for my office are welcome to stop by. We'd love to have you.
Thank you, Councilmember Remy. Councilmember Page. Council President Pro Tem Cinziano.
Thank you, President Harden. At this time, I would like to invite Deb Roberts, better known as Miss Duda, to the podium. Now, I told Deb it takes some time to get to Stenziano, so I apologize, but we were quick this evening with resolutions. So, Miss Duda, please approach the podium as I introduce Resolution 0209X-2018 to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the annual Duda Parade. As I think we all know, the Duda Parade is an opportunity for Columbus residents to celebrate and express their First Amendment rights through humor and lots of satire. With no entry fee, everyone in Columbus has always been encouraged to gather with their friends and family to march in or view the parade every July 4th. At the conclusion of the parade, participants and viewers continue to celebrate at a block party with wonderful live entertainment. And so for 35 years, the Duda Parade has drawn people from all over the city of Columbus and beyond to bring some levity and satire to current events and to take a critical look at the state of the country, the city, and the state. And my parents swear to me, although I don't remember, that I actually was in the first Duda Parade. I was pulled by wagon. There was also a Volkswagen Rabbit car that was part of the parade float, and a staffer of my father's putting rubber chickens in people's pots. So there was a chicken in every pot. So very happy to be able to present and recognize the importance of this lighthearted, goofy platform for residents to express these First Amendment rights. So it's my honor to present this resolution to you, Ms. Duda, in recognition of all the people that make the Duda Parade and Festival such a wonderful event. With that, I'll turn the podium over to you.
Thank you, Councilman Cinziano. It's been my pleasure to do this for 28 years of the 35, and I want to point out to all the council members and President Harden that working with the city employees on getting all the parade permits and street closures was a real joy. Everybody is wonderful to work with. You should know they should get some super kudos for their ease of working on permits. So I thank you for this honor. It's kind of Unduda-like, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
It does feel very Unduda-like. Maybe doing it after the 4th of July was as close to Duda as we can do. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Seeing none, I'll move for adoption.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Resolution adopted. Congratulations. Thank you, President Pro Tem. Councilmember Tyson.
Thank you. I have two resolutions. The first one is resolution number 0205X as 2018. And as I'm getting ready to read it, I'm going to ask Vivian Jackson Anderson, Danielle Pierre, and everyone that is here representing the National Council of Negro Women to come to the podium. And this resolution is to congratulate the Columbus section of the National Council of Negro Women on the occasion of its inaugural Bethune Birthday Tea Party in honor of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune's 143rd birthday, and to recognize significant contributions made by the Columbus section to the city and to the community. And it reads, whereas the mission of the National Council of Negro Women is to advance opportunities and improve the quality of life for African American women and their families and communities. Whereas the National Council of Negro Women was founded by Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, a child of slave parents who went on to become a distinguished educator and government consultant, and benefited from for several decades from the leadership of its former national president, Dr. Dorothy Irene Height, an icon of the civil rights movement. Whereas the Columbus section of the National Council of Negro Women supports the organization's mission by adopting local schools, providing leadership development sessions to adolescent females, and providing food baskets and clothing to needy families and homeless shelters. And whereas the Columbus section hosted its inaugural Bethune birthday tea party in honor of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune's 143rd birthday, and it was yesterday. And from I can see through social media, it was quite a success. And this Tea Party will continue the Columbus section's traditional outreach to young leaders who will emerge to carry the community forward in the years and decades to come. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Columbus. This council does hereby congratulate the Columbus section of the National Council of Negro Women on the occasion of its inaugural Bethune birthday tea party in honor of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune's 143rd birthday, and recognize the significant contributions made by the Columbus section to the city and the community. And I move for adoption.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Adopted.
Thank you. President Jackson, the floor is yours. President Anderson, I'm sorry.
We want to thank you very much, Councilman Tyson, for doing this for us in honor of our founder. You know, we had a wonderful celebration yesterday. Her favorite color was yellow, so we were in yellow with yellow hats and just looked good, if I must say so myself. I am a newly elected president, and we look forward to working with the city and working with you to further the work of our founder, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. And thank you again. And I brought a program just in case you wanted to see one. I'll give you one later, but thank you.
And before you move away from the podium, I want you to make sure everyone can introduce themselves, but also tell us about some of the programs that you've been doing in the city of Columbus.
Well, we have several that we do. One is, and I'll just start, one is we have worked each year to adopt families for Christmas. And so we decide upon an agency, and then we determine how many families we need to provide toys for. And so that's been a huge, huge success. And we've been doing that for a number of years. So last year, I think it was something like 50 families, if I'm not mistaken. We also do a diaper drive, where this year our goal was to receive 10,000 diapers, and we made it and exceeded it. And so for the diaper drive, and because of the need and infant mortality and that kind of thing, and in Columbus, in this area, we chose an organization then and gave those 10,000 diapers to. I don't know where they put them, but we gave them to them. And we've also worked with the Ohio Department of Corrections and bring plastic bags. And those who are incarcerated make blankets out of those bags, and so that it will make somebody and help some family, a person to be warm. And we also volunteer once a month with the YWCA, and we go and feed the homeless and those families, and we just did that last weekend. That's my memories.
Well, thank you. That's significant. I also want to recognize that we just gave a resolution to Vivian Jackson Anderson. She just retired from the state of Ohio after, what, 43 years. Wow. And so, again, thank you for your service to our community. And if you wouldn't mind, just everyone could introduce themselves, please.
My name is Marie Penn, and I was just the co-chair of the Bethune, our inaugural Bethune Tea Party, and I've been a member of the section for 12 years.
Hello, my name is Elisa Osepoku, and I am the second vice president of our Columbus section of the National Council of Negro Women.
My name is Ricardo Penn, and I'm an associate member, so we're always looking for men to join the organization, awesome. Too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I have a resolution from the floor, and it's 0211X-2018, and I'm going to ask Tim Sword, Sameen, and the group of individuals, the board members that are here from sister cities. Please come to the podium, please. And this resolution is to congratulate Greater Columbus Sister Cities International for winning the Sister Cities International 2018 Innovation Award for Arts and Culture for a city with a population greater than 100,000. And whereas Columbus Sister Cities International is a nonprofit organization that works to enhance the quality of life for residents of Columbus and Central Ohio through advocacy, engagement, and cultural exchange. Whereas Greater Sister Cities International has won the Sister Cities International 2018 Innovation Award for Arts and Culture for a city with a population greater than 100,000. The awards competition is open to over 500 sister city programs nationwide, recognizes the accomplishments of outstanding individuals in sister city programs that are promoting peace through mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation. And whereas GCSCI was selected for the 1,000 People Project, which took place in Columbus from March the 25th through April 9th, they received support from Columbus City Council, and we also was allowed in GCSCI, which allowed it to host Emmanuel Costa, a photographer from Genoa, where he was from Genoa, our sister city there, for 2 weeks. He took portraits of residents in Columbus, but he also shared the portraits of 1,000 people of Genoa, and they were displayed at the Cultural Arts Center, John Glenn International Airport, the Columbus Museum of Art, the Greater Columbus Convention Center, and Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens. And while in Columbus, Mr. Costa began his new chapter in this project, which photographed over 1,400 Columbus residents for an exhibition which will be displayed in Genoa in 2019. The Sister Cities International Awards program recognizes excellence in overall programming, highlights key innovation in arts and culture, business and trade, humanitarian assistance, youth and education, as well as professional and technical exchange. This year, Sister Cities International will honor each of its award winners during the SCI's 2018 annual conference, which will take place August 2nd through the 4th in Aurora, Colorado. A conference that will bring together hundreds of the most influential citizen diplomats and global leaders in diplomacy, foreign affairs, policy, business, and innovation to discuss and share their examples, as well as a network. And whereas this year's theme, Cities Leading the Way, will focus on smart and resilient cities, leadership development, entrepreneurship as key building blocks of President Eisenhower's vision of creating a more peaceful world through citizen engagement and international cooperation between cities. So be it resolved by the Council of the City of Columbus. This council does hereby recognize and congratulate the Greater Columbus Sister Cities International for winning the Sister Cities International 2018 Award for Arts and Culture, and for winning with the first city over 100,000. Congratulations. So let's give them a round. Tim, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of Greater Columbus Sister Cities and Sameen and myself, thank you very much for this recognition and for acknowledging that we were recognized nationally for this award. We thank you also for continuing to support all of our programming that's vital to connecting Columbus to the world. Particularly Councilmember Tyson for this project, for identifying it on a trip that we took to Genoa, Italy a number of years ago, and the follow-up that's required to do that. But also to leverage and activate a community. You listed all the places it was, and we went to other places with a photographer to capture those 1,400, so thank you so much for your involvement with that. You know, we want to highlight one of the reasons, though, that we won this award is because of the Columbus Way. Whether you're traveling with yourself, Priscilla, or President Hardin, the Commissioner O'Grady or Brown or Mayor Ginther, you guys talk about the Columbus Way, but so do the participants that join us on these trips or welcoming others. So I just want to highlight that this award, we believe, is won because of the city. We're proud of it as sister cities, but the city should be as equally proud, and we're fortunate to be here. You mentioned all the other details I think I was going to talk about, but I did want to also acknowledge the board members that we have here. Representing Mayor Ginther's office, Mike Shattuck. We have the county represented by Jim Schimmer and Roberta Wench, who is helping me with the whip on the fundraising. And we're hoping that this will attract more companies and individuals to join us in something that we think is very important, which is connecting people around the world. And as a final note, I'll just say I'm very, very proud to be in a city and working in a city that actually cares about building bridges around the world instead of something else. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your leadership. I want to thank the board. It's just been really an honor to be able to work with Greater Columbus Sister Cities. It's been great working with Tim and Samin, and I just want us to continue to grow the organization, and so we can continue to do this great work and show people we can learn from other communities as well as communities learning from us. And so congratulations on winning the award, and I'm just very, very proud that we could work on a project together. Thank you.
Very
congratulations.
Much.
You got to call the vote. You can call the vote for it. Move for adoption. Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Adopted.
I also just have two quick announcements, and they're both in regards to our farmers markets. And the first one is I want to highlight the Brownsville Growers Market, which will be open every Thursday, beginning Thursday, July 12th at 3 p.m. through September the 27th. And it's sponsored by Bethany Presbyterian Church, and our partners are of MPAAC, Movement Pursuing Arts, Commerce, and Community, Waterbird Farm Shed, and the Greater Columbus Growing Coalition, who we're a big supporter of them. The market will be located at 925 Mount Vernon Avenue. And then I want to highlight the second farmers market, which this council has supported in a significant way, and it is the Linden Farmers Market. It is open every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's at 2830 Cleveland Avenue. And I just want to share that it is certainly not only for people that live in Linden. It's for people that live throughout the city of Columbus, and we would ask that hopefully you'll go out and support all the amazing vendors that are at the Linden Farmers Market every Sunday from 1 to 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Tyson. I have one resolution. It's Resolution 0210X-2018, and I'm going to invite Mr. Kenny McDonald to come down to the podium. Resolution 0210X is celebrating Columbus 2020. Columbus 2020 serves as the economic development organization for the 11-county Columbus region. They work with state and local partners to generate opportunities and to build capacity for economic growth. Over the last 10 years or so, the organization has worked with community partners, with the private sector and the public sector to set a goal for 2020 of 150,000 new jobs. We were all excited to hear recently that Columbus 2020 met their goal of creating 150,000 new jobs in our region, but 2 years early. And for that, we want to celebrate and kind of hear from Kenny and really celebrate the work of the entire region. It was a lot of partnership between the city, between our other community partners, but also the private sector for driving really some groundbreaking growth in our community. And so are there any comments from my colleagues before I move for adoption? Councilmember Elizabeth Brown.
I'll just say congratulations and thank you, really is the main message. And I appreciate your, you have an excellent team, and I know that's really how it all gets done. No discredit to you. But the diligence that you demonstrate as the leader of 2020 is something I've always personally really appreciated. And the communication that you push out to the community, no matter sort of who you are or what organization you're with. So just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Tyson.
Thank you, President Harden. I just want to say, Kenny, thank you for working with the city, the county, and the state to increase jobs within our community. And it's so important, especially for the city of Columbus, because we are an income-based tax city, and we want to make sure that we continue to grow our jobs. I know that you're also focused on making sure that we're bringing in jobs and also training people to be able to have those jobs for higher paying jobs. So I really do appreciate, your work and working certainly with Director Shoney and the whole team to improve our city. So thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Kenny McDonald.
Thank you, President Harden, members of the council. It is an accomplishment worth pausing and remembering actually where we came from. So I'd like to thank the council here, but I'd also like to thank the body of the council because they jumped in, and we were coming out of a recession, and I'm sure your revenues looked a little different in 2009 and 2010, and you took a risk to do things differently in economic development. I just want to thank you for your bold leadership. It wasn't just important for the city of Columbus. I think it was really important for this entire region and for the entire state. It has set a great example of what a public-private partnership can be. So we accept the thank yous on behalf of really hundreds of business leaders that stand behind us and leverage your dollars, 10 or 12 to 1, as well as other mayors and councils around this region, 11 counties that have bonded together to do this work. We're really excited about where we are now. We're having another fantastic year. 45% of these 150,000 net new jobs over the last 8 years have been here in the city of Columbus. And we look forward to even more of that in the future. Again, 2018 is a fantastic year. Unemployment is very low, but that brings new challenges to our door too. And what we're most excited about is setting the goals for the next decade. And this is the end of the beginning of this strategy for this region. So we look forward to continuing partnership with you and with Director Shoney and the entire region to push forward. We have to get the prosperity to every corner of our communities, every neighborhood, and that's what we're probably most excited about for the future. So thank you again, and I look forward to the future with you.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Are you breaking news? Is the new organization called 2030 now? Or?
No breaking news tonight.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your leadership again, echoing Councilmember Tyson and Councilmember Brown. Your work in partnership really is what got this done. Shout out to your team. I see Sean Grant back and Mallory Donaldson and other folks that have been a great part of your organization. With that, I'm going to move for adoption. Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Are there any comments by our elected officials? All right. I see that we have representatives from Greater Hilltop here. On behalf of this council, would you please pass along our sincere condolences to Mr. Huffman and his family for their passing. Are there any other requests by members of council for removal of ordinance or resolutions from the consent action portion of the agenda? Seeing none, may we now have a motion to waive reading of the titles of 30-day legislation by the city clerk? Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. Will the clerk now read into the record the ordinance numbers of 30-day legislation on tonight's agenda for first reading?
Finance Committee, ordinances 1429, 1730, 1738, 1779, 1790, and 1876-2018. Recreation and Parks Committee, ordinances 1616 and 1763-2018. Public Service and Transportation Committee, ordinances 1776 and 1780-2018. Economic Development and Small Business Committee, ordinances 1897, 1898, 1899, 1900, and 1901-2018. Housing Committee, Ordinance 1803-2018. Technology Committee, Ordinance 1187 and 1669-2018. Public Utilities Committee, Ordinances 1606, 1611, 1624, 1656, 1684, 1691, 1731, 1732, 1768, 1785, 1787, 1795, 1799, 1802, 1809, 1819, 1833, 1834, 1839, 1844, 1853, and 1854, 2018 Zoning Committee ordinances 1645, 1783, 1784, 1843, 1872, 1873, 1882, 1929, 1930, 1931-2018.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Seeing no speakers on first reading, the following ordinance appear on our agenda as consent actions. Will the clerk now read those ordinance numbers into the record, please?
Finance Committee ordinances 1427, 1428, 1522, 1597, 1639, 1689, 1710, 1724, 1726, 1808, 1814, 1827, 1831, 1832, 1845, and 1870-2018. Recreation and Parks Committee ordinances 1618, 1619, 1625, 1628, 1762, 1798, and 1810-2018. Public Safety Committee ordinances 1700 and 1717-2018. Public Service and Transportation Committee ordinances 1325, 1437, 1463, 1627, 1629, 1642, 1675, 1706, 1759, 1820, 1836, 1852, 1860, 1861, 2018. Environment Committee ordinance 1757-2018. Economic Development and Small Business Committee resolution 207X-2018. Ordinances 1733, 1734, 1736, 1737, 1865, 1903, and 1914-2018. Housing Committee ordinances 1702, 1740, 1741, 1742, 1743, 1744, 1781, 1791, 1804, 1805, 1806, 1807, 1883, 1884, 1885, 1886, 1887, 1888, 1926, and 1927-2018. Judiciary and Court Administration Committee ordinances 1685 and 1867-2018. Technology Committee ordinance 1530-2018. Public Utilities Committee ordinances 1438, 1479, 1569, 1602, 1721, 1750, and 1761-2018. Health and Human Services Committee ordinances 1693, 1694, 1735, 1789-2018. Rules and Reference Committee ordinance 1823-2018. And appointments from the Mayor's Office numbered A0161, 166, and 167-2018.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have 3 speakers on the consent agenda. The first speaker to come before us is Mr. Nathaniel Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins is speaking on ordinance 1781 within the Housing Committee. Mr. Wilkins, welcome back to Council. Just a reminder, you have 3 minutes to speak, and give us your name, address, and any organization you may represent.
Nathaniel George Wilkins, 1612 Arlington Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43211. Also the chairman of solely vacant and abandoned property in North Linden area. I am speaking against ordinance 1781, 2018. I'm speaking about the property at 1414 in Genesee Avenue. I'm against it for 3 reasons, and only for 3 reasons is why. Seem like there's some other people that buy property in the neighborhood that doesn't live in the neighborhood, or they live outside of Linden to come in and buy. That's one reason why I'm against this. The other reason is it doesn't give people like ourselves, because we live in this community and we don't have first dibs on these properties, because people like ourselves don't have a lot of money. But that's the second reason. And the third reason why, if people buy property where they don't live in this area and rent it out for 3 times the price value, that nobody can afford that. And so this is why I'm against this. So this, I mean, I don't know. But again, that's why I'm against this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. Director Shoney, do you have any information on what 1414 Genesee Avenue will be used for? Is it just a normal conveyance out of the land bank, or?
Thank you, President Hardin. My understanding is that it will be sold for rehabilitation and rental.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Wilkinson, for voicing those concerns. And I think this whole council shares those concerns. We are very appreciative of the work that you're doing in Linden. The next speaker we have before council is Becky West. Ms. West is here to speak on Ordinance 1734-2018 in the Economic Development Committee. Welcome to council. Just a reminder, you have 3 minutes to speak, and please state your name, address, and any organization you represent.
Thank you. I am Becky West, 57 Jefferson Avenue, and I'm representing Columbus Landmarks. I'm here tonight to thank you, Council President Hardin, members of City Council, the Historic Resources Commission, and the Department of Development for the ordinance to list the property at 1881 South High Street in the Columbus Register of Historic Places. In some cities, the architectural, cultural, and historical value of Dan's Drive-In might be overlooked. We are so pleased that Columbus is not one of those places. Built in 1958, Dan's is a fine example of classic roadside architecture, a simple structure with an eye-catching, iconic sign and checkerboard facade designed to attract customers. Dan's is one of 3 remaining drive-ins in Columbus. All dot the same artery, High Street or Route 23. Jerry's is now at TJ's on North High. Michael's Goody Boy is in the Short North. Dan's, with its Southside location, has survived the ups and downs of the neighborhood and is perfectly positioned to play a role in revitalization efforts currently underway. We know that small shops and businesses add exuberant cultural and economic diversity to neighborhoods. They are an important part of the equation that makes a city successful. The story of Dan's Drive-In today is remarkable for the authenticity and sincerity of its owner, and we wish to congratulate Mr. Ankit Nagi, who is building a future with tremendous respect for the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. West. As a proud Southsider, I've eaten at Dan's plenty of times, and actually been there with several of my colleagues, actually. The final speaker on the consent agenda is Mr. Joe Motil. Mr. Motil, welcome back to council. Mr. Motil is speaking on Ordinance 1618-2018 in the Recreation and Parks Committee. And just a reminder, 3 minutes. Any organization that you may represent. Welcome back, Mr. Motil.
Thank you. Joe Motil, 167 West Cook Road, Columbus. President Hardin, members of City Council, I am speaking as president and on behalf of the Tuttle Park Community Recreation Council this evening. Through its fundraising efforts and the commitment to create one of the city's most complete and actively used parks, the Tuttle Park CRC has partnered with the City of Columbus's Recreation and Parks Department over the last 25 years in numerous endeavors by contributing $10,000 towards the purchase of new playground equipment. We pitched in $25,000 to partner with the Columbus Blue Jackets to construct the current outdoor hockey rink, paying for free admission and popcorn days at Tuttle Pool, acting as a $10,000 fiscal sponsor to participate in the City of Columbus's Millennial Murals Project, contributing funds to the Play program. We awarded scholarships to local high school students, commissioning local artists to create public murals, purchasing thousands of dollars of park benches, trash receptacles, and picnic tables, assisting with the payment of numerous arts and craft supplies and athletic equipment, and now $5,000 towards the creation of a first-class boat launch on the banks of the Olentangy that is before you this evening. The request for this boat launch was first brought to the attention of the department by the CRC in January of 2016, along with the idea of a skate park at Tuttle. So needless to say, seeing this legislation on tonight's agenda has put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces. And furthermore, after having a recent meeting between the CRC, Director Collins, several of his staff, it also appears that the construction of the skate park and a shelter house are finally close at hand. So having worked with the various staff members of the Recreation and Parks Department, and as a 25-year member of the Tuttle Park CRC, and trying to pitch improvements at Tuttle Park to now my 5th Recreation and Parks Department Director. I guess you could say I truly understand the meaning of patience is a virtue, but I sure wish things could move a little bit faster. So on behalf of the Tuttle Park CRC, we would especially like to thank Councilwoman Brown, Councilman Stenziano, Director Collins, Rick Miller, Molly O'Donnell, Mark Steese, and a special thanks to former Director Alan McKnight, Steve Allmiller, Gary Serrelson, Maureen Lorenz, and Andy Wells for believing in us and for supporting the CRC's efforts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Motil. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues on the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none, may I have a motion for approval of these items designated as consent actions? Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
The consent agenda passes. We will now proceed with the second reading of 30-day tabled and emergency legislation. The first committee to come before council is the Finance Committee. Councilmember Elizabeth Brown is chair. Councilmember, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Harden. Tonight in Finance, we have Resolution 1739-2018 to authorize the Director of Finance and Management to associate all general budget reservations resulting from this ordinance with the appropriate universal term contract purchase agreement for automotive parts, thereby allowing the Fleet Management Division to purchase needed equipment. To authorize the expenditure of $1 million from the Fleet Management Operating Fund and to declare an emergency. The City of Columbus operates a fleet of approximately 6,000 vehicles. The Fleet Management Division processes around 40,000 work orders each year that require the purchase of equipment from more than 400 vendors for the ongoing maintenance of the fleet. This year, $4.5 million is budgeted for the purchase of vehicle parts for this work. This ordinance allocates a portion of those funds. Emergency action is being considered to ensure that the maintenance of vehicles, including police, fire, and refuse collection vehicles, will continue uninterrupted. Any questions for my colleagues? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Second.
Brown,
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Pass.
That's all I have in Finance. May I move to Rec and Parks?
Please.
Thank you. Tonight in Recreation and Parks, we have one ordinance, 1363-2018, to authorize the Director of Finance and Management on behalf of Recreation and Parks to enter into contract with Callaway Golf for the purchase of merchandise for the airport golf course, to waive the competitive bidding provisions of the Columbus City Code, and to declare an emergency. The Recreation and Parks Department is testing a new pilot program for the operation of golf course pro shops. Current practice is for the golf program manager to act as an independent contractor to operate the pro shop services at each course, including stocking the shop with equipment. On April 1st, the Golf Division assumed the operation of the airport golf course's pro shop following the retirement of its golf program manager. This ordinance authorizes the purchase of Callaway branded merchandise to stock and sell at the pro shop. Competitive bidding provisions are being waived because Callaway products can be purchased directly from the manufacturer. This eliminates the retail markups and results in the best price available for these products. Deputy Rakowski, do you have anything you'd like to add about waiving competitive bidding of this pilot program to purchase supplies and equipment?
Chair Brown, President Harden, members of council, I would just say that we are doing a pilot here, and it was tied to the retirement. It does hit on one of our founding pillars over in Recreation and Parks, which is sustainability, because it does allow us to bring in additional revenue into the division of golf in order to keep that division sustainable into the future. We will not cancel any existing contracts with any of the golf program managers. We did this based on the retirement, and if we believe that this is the right direction to go in the future, as we see other retirements, we'll probably go and bring those pro shops back into the city as well. It's a very unique relationship that we have here that is very unlike most other municipal golf courses, where we have an employee of the city that also holds an independent contract with the city to run the pro shop. So, and the nature of pro shops have changed over the course of time. We're here really to now sell tees and gloves and some t-shirts and golf balls, and not selling full sets of clubs and doing those things that really were a part of a fixture of those shops in the past. So we appreciate your support. We're going to see how this goes. From all indications, it's going smooth now, and we'll report back when we have another retirement and see whether we decide to go and bring that next shop in as well. And as you stated, the reason we're asking for the waiver, it makes no sense for us to go to a third party that's going to mark up the cost of all these supplies. We can go directly to the distributor and the manufacturer of these supplies and the golf balls, and then get them at a lower price than we would pay by doing it any other way. And I appreciate help with the auditor's office has given us and purchasing gave us to get this going.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Second.
Please call the row.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
That's all I have, President Harden.
Thank you, Chair Brown. The next committee to come before council is the Public Service and Transportation Committee. Councilmember Emmanuel Remy chairs that committee. Councilmember, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, President Harden. Tonight we have ordinance number 1486, 2018, to authorize an amendment to the 2018 capital improvement budget to authorize the appropriation and transfer of funds within the Street and Highway Improvement Non-Bond Fund, to authorize the transfer of cash within the Sidewalk Assessment Fund, to authorize the appropriation of funds within the Sidewalk Assessment Fund, to authorize the Director of Public Service to enter into contract with G&G Concrete Construction for the Pedestrian Safety Improvements Sidewalk NOV Program 2017 project, to expend up to $460,000 for this contract, and to declare an emergency. Are there any questions from my colleagues this evening? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Please call the row.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Pass.
Thank you very much. Next, we have ordinance number 1668, 2018, to authorize the Director of Finance and Management to enter into a contract with Swenson Products for the purchase of 4 Schmidt Stratos B70 spreader units to be used for snow and ice control, to authorize the expenditure of $100,000 from the Streets and Highways Bonds Fund for the purchase of the 4 Schmidt Stratus B70 spreaders, to waive the formal competitive bidding requirements of Columbus City Code, and to declare an emergency. Director, would you like to speak as to why we're waiving the formal bidding process?
Yes, President Harden, Chair Remy, and other members of council. The department was given 4 of these spreader units to test on a pilot case several years ago, and after that pilot program, we were deciding whether to send them back or keep them, and the company came in with an offer to buy these spreaders for much less than the original cost, and that saved them the money from having to ship them back. Therefore, we are asking for waiver of bid this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? If not, I move for passage.
Please call the row.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Pass.
Next, we have ordinance number 1772, 2018, to amend the 2018 capital improvement budget to transfer appropriation within the Streets and Highways Bond Fund, to authorize the Director of Public Service to enter into contract with Newcomer Concrete Services, Inc. for the UIRF 2016 Sidewalks P1 project, to authorize the expenditure of up to $734,812.83 from the Streets and Highways Bond Fund for the UIRF 2016 Sidewalks P1 project, and to declare an emergency. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Please call the row.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
And finally, tonight we have ordinance number 1821, 2018, to amend the 2018 capital improvement budget to authorize the city auditor to appropriate $1,440,000 within the Federal Transportation Grants Fund, to authorize the city auditor to transfer funds between projects within Fund 7704, Streets and Highways Improvement Fund, to authorize the City Attorney's Office Real Estate Division to contract for professional services relative to the acquisition of fee simple title and lesser interest in and to property needed for the intersection improvements at Hilliard-Rome Road at Fetter Road project, and to negotiate with the property owners to acquire the additional rights of way necessary to complete this project, to authorize the expenditure of $1,440,000 Federal Transportation Grants Fund and $360,000 from the Streets and Highways Improvements Fund, and to declare an emergency. Are there any questions from my colleagues this evening? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Please call the row.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
Thank you. That's all I have in public service this evening.
Thank you, Chair Remy. The next committee to come before council is the Economic Development and Small Business Committee. Councilmember Page chairs that committee. Councilmember, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Harden. This evening in Economic Development and Small Business, we have Ordinance 1755-2018 to authorize the Director of Development to enter into a dual-rate jobs growth incentive with Prime Equipment Group Incorporated, Prime Property Group Limited, and Prime Leasing Group Limited, hereinafter collectively Prime Equipment, for a term of up to 5 consecutive years in consideration of investing an estimated $4.9 million, retaining 105 full-time permanent positions and creating 20 new full-time permanent positions. The Department of Development is proposing to enter into a dual-rate jobs growth incentive agreement in an amount equal to 25% of the city's income tax withheld on the payroll of new employees and 30% of the city's income tax withheld on the payroll of new employees who are also Columbus residents at the end of each calendar year, both for a term of up to 5 consecutive years. Prime Equipment Group is a Columbus-based manufacturer of poultry processing equipment. Founded in 1992, Prime Equipment Group is a privately held company that was started and is still run by the Gasparov family, which has owned and operated poultry plants and businesses for more than 65 years. Are there any additional comments from the director? Seeing none, I would first like to move to amend as submitted to the clerk.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Amended.
I now move for passage as amended.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
Thank you, President Harden.
Thank you, Chair Page. The next committee to come before council is the Public Utilities Committee. President Pro Tem Stenziano chairs that committee. President Pro Tem, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Harden. Tonight in Public Utilities, bring forward Ordinance 1608-2018 to authorize the Director of Public Utilities to enter into a construction contract with CB&I Constructors, LLC for the Westgate East 2 MMG Elevated Storage Tank Project. To authorize a transfer and expenditure up to $5,331,500 within the Water General Obligation Voted Bonds Fund to provide for payment of prevailing wage services to the Department of Public Service, Design and Construction Division for the Division of Water, and to authorize an amendment to the 2018 capital improvements budget. This tank will replace a previously demolished tank that had exceeded its useful life and is no longer serviceable. It will provide for water storage and reliable water pressure in the Mound Pressure District of the Hilltop. Community outreach has included coordination with the Hilltop Area Commission and the Friend of Westgate Park organization. If there are no questions or comments from my colleagues, I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
That's all I have in my committees this evening, President Harden.
Thank you, Chair Stenziano. The next committee to come before council is the Health and Human Services Committee. Councilmember Tyson chairs that committee. Councilman, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have Ordinance 1666-2018. I'm going to ask for Dwayne Stewart from the Director of Prevention for Equitas to come towards the podium, please. And this to authorize the Board of Health to modify by increasing, extending, and revising the scope of services of an existing contract with Equitas Health to continue to provide a harm reduction program called SafePoint through December the 31st of 2018, and to authorize the expenditure from the Health Special Revenue Fund and the Health Department's Grants Fund, and to declare an emergency. And this is for $125,000. Director Stewart, do you want to make some comments about this legislation?
Yes. Thank you all so much for having us today. Again, my name is Dwayne Stewart. I'm here representing Equitas Health. We really appreciate the support from the city of this important program. A SafePoint is a harm reduction program that seeks to reduce the spread of HIV, hepatitis C, and other bloodborne infections, as well as to link individuals to treatment resources and the life-saving drug naloxone. The program was established in 2016 and provides safer injection materials, safer sex supplies, and education related to reducing risk. SafePoint links participants to resources such as medical care and refers participants to alcohol and drug treatment facilities. Currently, the program is located in the short north at our medical center there. I think it's important to note that harm reduction programs show a decrease in hepatitis C rates by 50% and decreased HIV rates by 80% among those who inject drugs. The World Health Organization identified harm reduction programs such as SafePoint as key components to the comprehensive HIV prevention program. Just in 2017, SafePoint served 3,139 unduplicated individuals. We dispersed 1,062 kits of naloxone, saving 926 lives, and 427 were referred to behavioral health treatment, and we distributed 13,600 Sharps containers to participants. And just in the first quarter of 2018, we served 970 unique individuals, and 147 received on-site substance abuse treatment consultation. Thank you.
Councilmember Remy.
I'd like to thank you for the work in this project. We had the opportunity, my staff and I, to go down and visit the center on one of the nights that you were doing the program, and actually sat in a room with somebody that was doing an exchange. And the amount of impact that you have and the opportunities to touch these individuals in offering them consultative services and treatment services and asking them of their interests in doing so. I mean, it's very impactful, and you can see that not only is it helping to stop the spread of those diseases, it's also giving the opportunity to get people help that they so desperately need. So thank you very much. It certainly made a big impact between myself and my staff, and we appreciated the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Director Stewart, for coming down and certainly sharing the impact of what you've been doing, but also that this $125,000 will allow you to continue to do the work through the end of 2018. So we appreciate the opportunity that you are saving lives, certainly making sure that, as you mentioned, Hep C and HIV are certainly illnesses that if we want to prevent them as much as possible, and also linking individuals to other services, and especially the alcohol addiction treatment. So thank you for your leadership, and if there are no other questions or comments, I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The final piece of legislation in this meeting, before we go to zoning, is Ordinance 1729. I'm going to ask Dr. June Gutterman to walk to the podium, please. And it's Ordinance 1729-2018. And this legislation is to approve the grant application of the Jewish Family Services seeking financial assistance to address emergency human service needs pursuant to Columbus City Code, to authorize expenditure of $45,000 from the Emergency Human Services Fund, to authorize the Director of Development to execute a grant agreement with the Jewish Family Services to support a demand-driven workforce development program, and to declare an emergency. Dr. Gutterman, the floor is yours to share this program that we will be supporting.
Thank you, President Harden. Thank you, City Councilman Tyson. I have also brought my COO, Karen Mosenter, with me. I want to start by thanking you and all of you for championing Columbus's workforce and for being there as a cheerleader for both our job seekers and our employers. And thank you personally for attending our Easton Job Fair and kicking it off this year, Councilman Tyson. We've heard before that Columbus 2020 has blown out their goal. We know that we have a great and thriving economy, and yet why is this an emergency? Why is this so important? Because we can only thrive if employers can acquire talent and retain it. And we can only thrive if workers who want to work can have access to jobs. And what is different today than 2 or 3 years ago is that today we have employers who are dying to get a workforce but have difficulty acquiring them. And we have people who aren't working, but they have actually greater barriers than they did before, so it's harder to place. So we're proposing a very different way of looking at a traditional workforce model, where we are going to focus on the employer customer and specifically small to medium-sized businesses. They are a backbone of our economy. They have a very fast turnaround for hiring, and large companies do not. It could take 13 weeks to get hired by a large company, and they are most flexible. And we're going to then chain back from that to our job candidates who are from the city of Columbus and try to work with them to meet the needs of these employers specifically. We've worked with the Chamber of Commerce to help identify that small to medium-sized business. They don't have HR departments in most times. They need assistance with job descriptions, postings, and hiring, acquiring and retaining employment, and that is a key to what we're trying to do. I'm going to turn this over to Karen, and she can go into it just a titch more depth.
Okay, so as June said, we're basing our proposal on our past experience in successful workforce development, more from the job seeker side. Most recently, you funded our City Success Program in 2016, and that produced on an $80,000 investment wages of $1.54 million and $385,000 in taxes paid. So pretty good return on investment there. We hope to duplicate that or duplicate a similar return on investment here. As Kenny McDonald said tonight, we have new challenges, and June referred to, and that is that a number of the jobs that have been created go unfilled. We did a program for the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services over the last couple of years that took this demand-driven approach that June mentioned, and we were working with larger companies, and we discovered some of the challenges there with the longer hiring cycle, and the difficulty in filling those positions is kind of the beginning of where we saw this need. And we worked with the chamber to survey the smaller businesses. We worked with our business partners and our other workforce partners to better understand those needs, and that's the niche that we hope to fill with this program. So it's demand-driven, it's understanding the needs of the small employers, and then working with our job seekers to make sure that they are well trained and able to, and job ready to fill those positions, the existing positions. So this would be a pilot working with small and mid-sized businesses for an investment of $45,000. We would pilot to with 20 job seekers, 80% our outcomes that we hope to provide for you on that $45,000 investment are over $700,000 in wages and $190,000 in taxes paid.
Wow.
Thank you, June and Karen. And it's always been a pleasure to work with you two, because you always hit your goals. You always are thinking outside the box. And certainly we know that the request was larger. We have limited funds, but we know that, and I know you will be able to come back and report to this council that you've been successful, and hopefully we'll continue this partnership. But it is really important to note that even with a $45,000 investment, that's $700,000 in wages and $190,000 in taxes. That's a great return on our money. But most importantly, it's also giving an opportunity for individuals in our community to be able to have jobs, to provide for their families, and enhance their quality of life. So I thank you for always thinking outside the box and helping our residents be able to get great jobs and continue to move forward. So thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues?
Thank you.
Seeing none, I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Ordinance passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have in my committee this evening.
Thank you, Chair Tyson. Seeing no further business to come before council, can I get a motion to adjourn? Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Regular meeting number 37 is adjourned. Regular meeting number 38 will now come to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal? Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
We will now go to the Zoning Committee. Councilmember Tyson chairs this committee. All members serve on the committee. Councilmember, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Before beginning the zoning agenda, I'll briefly explain the rules of council as pertaining to speaking before council on zonings and variances. We permit 3 speakers on each side, 3 proponents and 3 opponents, and we ask that they limit their remarks to 3 minutes on each side. And we provide an opportunity for rebuttal from the applicant. On the advice of the City Attorney's Office, we ask that anyone here this evening who wishes to speak either for or against any council variance, including staff, please stand. Raise your right hand to be sworn in. I wish to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Please answer, I will. Thank you. All right. Have ordinance 1658, 2018 to grant a variance from the provisions of sections 3333.04 permitted uses in ARO apartment office district, 3312.49 minimum number of parking spaces required, 3321.07B landscaping, 3333.15C basis of computing area, and 3333.25 perimeter yard of Columbus City Codes for the property located at 1444 North High Street to permit a mixed-use building containing 2,900 square feet of ground-level commercial uses and 5 apartment units on a lot developed with 2 apartment buildings with reduced development standards in the ARO apartment office district. The applicant is Buckeye Real Estate, care of Dave Perry. The proposed use is mixed-use development. The City Department's recommendation is approval. The University Air Commission's recommendation is approval at 12-0. This was tabled on June 25th and amended that evening as well. So I first move to take from the table.
Second. Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Remove from the table.
Thank you. And now I move for passage as amended.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Ordinance passed.
Thank you. The next ordinance is 1665-2018 to rezone 3419 East Dublin Granville Road, being .84 acres located on the south side of East Dublin Granville Road from LM Limited Manufacturing District to CPD Commercial Plan Development District. The applicant is Ronald J. and Ruby L. Passon, care of Scott Klingensmith. The proposed use is a limited commercial development. The City Department's recommendation is approval, and the Northland Community Council's recommendation is approval 10, 15, and 1. I first move to waive second reading.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Waived.
Thank you. Now move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Pass.
Thank you. The next ordinance is 1704-2018 to rezone 2161 IKEA Way, being 1.69 acres located on the south side of IKEA Way, 1,045 feet east of Oregon Place, from LC4, the Limited Commercial District, to CPD Commercial Plan Development District. The applicant is Certified Oil, care of Dave Perry. The proposed use is fuel sales with a convenience retail. The City Department's recommendation is approval, and the Far North Communities Coalition's recommendation is approval 10-0. I first move to waive second reading.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you, and now I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. The next ordinance is 1778-2018 to rezone 5865 South High Street, being 5.46 acres located on the west side of South High Street, 2,160 feet north of Cottage Street, from ARO, Apartment Residential Office District, to CPD Commercial Plan Development District. The applicant is Certified Oil, care of Dave Perry. The proposed use is fuel sales with convenience retail. The City Department's recommendation is approval, and the Far South Far South Area Commission's recommendation is approval at 8-0. I first move to waive second reading.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Waived.
Thank you, and now I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
Thank you. And the next ordinance is 1797, test 2018, to grant a variance from the provisions of sections 3332.039 R4 Residential District, 3332.15 R4 Area District Requirements, 3332.19 Fronting, 3332.25B Maximum Side Yards Required, 3332.26 C2 Minimum Side Yard Permitted, 3332.27 Rear Yard of the City of Columbus Codes for the property located at 972 North 4th Street to permit a single-unit dwelling above a garage, a carriage house on the rear of a lot developed with a two-unit dwelling with reduced development standards in the R4 Residential District. The applicant is Jared Scher. The proposed use is one two-unit dwelling and one single-unit dwelling on one lot. The City Department's recommendation is approval, and the Italian Village Commission's recommendation is 4-0. I now move to waive second reading.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Waived.
Thank you. I move for passage.
Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Passed.
And that concludes the zoning agenda.
Thank you, Chair Tyson. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Please call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Remy, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
We stand adjourned. We will take our last two non-agenda speakers in just a few moments, please.